I shall pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to Mr. Bruder.
I have nothing. Been pretty quiet.
Don't forget your meeting tomorrow.
Yeah, no. I actually reminded Andrew, she forgot about it. Also, I told her to get a schedule for the year too, so we may have that.
That's where I got it last time, wasn't it, from her?
Meeting for the meetings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She has,
meeting schedule. She forgot about the one
Have
tomorrow.
you talked to her in the last week or two? I
No,
just wondered how the pets were, how many they got.
no.
we'll find that out tomorrow.
And the food supply, and last time I talked to her, the place was full out there, so I don't know.
Don't-
Ditches are all overworked and complaining.
So long as James gets his money.
Who?
James.
Yeah, I see, I'm gonna vote no tomorrow.
Derek?
I don't have any updates for you on the airport. It seems to be moving along. I think they got what they needed from us as far as the informational. I actually wasn't involved in that very much at all. You did a lot of the work. I think we're good there. The other thing I have is I guess I'm shooting for sometime next week to do an ambulance meeting or whatever I don't know what we're calling that. Public safety contract team. You know, I'll get with you on
Ambulance
that
committee.
sometime next week, and probably send some information out to people to review ahead of time. So, are you on that?
No.
Andy.
Andy.
No, Andy, what? Andy isn't.
Andy's gonna be.
Us three.
Oh, it's
Andy's gonna be,
Oh.
he doesn't know it.
Well, Andy,
you're the chair.
No, I'm
Right.
not.
Andy has a bit of a conflict of
listening to me?
interest,
You're
so I'm
not-
afraid.
Yeah,
Oh, this
I looked at
He
the-
does not, well, daughter, and he does a lot of business with the hospital.
Okay.
So yes, he shouldn't be on the committee. I
Who?
don't think. And
I don't see him.
he won't be able to vote.
Well, it's just informational anyway,
Yeah.
to us.
Either way, I'll
The thing
get
is-
the information to you. I'll get you when we'll meet and we'll
I'm not
knock this
voting
thing
either.
out.
Since working.
That's all I got. What you got?
Nothing. I am gonna ask Andy just to stay on that committee instead of me, cause after my next 3 months, I work every night. Every night. I also work
5 a.m.
Sundays.
I could take one spot.
Do you want that?
No, but I would take your spot.
I thought, Andy wanted it, but you said you don't think he
I don't think
might be a better deal for you then.
Right.
Otherwise, you're gonna start having meetings I can't make. I'm sure you've missed me, yeah, you would.
Your expertise.
Well, I know what ambulances are, I've been in them.
I never have,
I know
so
they're
maybe I
expensive.
can't be on the meeting.
I don't wanna be anymore, but it's real exciting.
You don't have anything?
Nope.
Okay. Jeff, what's the status on the Shiloh thing?
Yeah, I was gonna ask the question.
Resource
Still
officer.
going through it, every time we kinda get it where I wanted and something else, you get some new information that, you know, we kinda need to tweak it a little more.
You mean on the agreement?
And we're getting a big problem I'm still seeing right now, just getting somebody to fill that position.
Have you interviewed anybody or?
Well, had 2 or 3 people I've actually talked to, and of course, you know, I had a couple of guys from the city of retirement age wanting to, kind of maybe interested, but you know, there's, with the chief going, announcing his retirement, there's kind of, some of them kind of sitting there for, you know, waiting to see what happens.
When's he retiring?
I think April, or
Really?
May, I'm sorry, May, that's be their
Yes.
I
fiscal
hadn't heard that.
Jeez, how old, he's not very old, is he?
He's
56.
I'll say
Hell, he
55 or
retires
6 probably,
young.
yeah. He'd been there,
Yeah.
but I'll give him 30 years. He started the same time I
That's
did.
a long time.
So as far as the agreement between, you know, this, I don't know what it's called.
Between us and them, yeah.
Yeah, that hasn't been ironed out yet. So is March I mean, where's the holdup? Is it on?
I'm the holdup. I mean, every time I kinda get it where I want it, something else
You mean
comes
the
up.
agreement?
Yeah,
Okay.
because
So,
once I got it where I think it's where we want it, then I gotta give it to Mark to look over.
okay, so you're,
So, I mean, it's in my hands right now.
okay, and when do you anticipate? I mean, that, the agreement really doesn't have anything to do with hiring the person, though, does it? I mean, I haven't seen the agreement, I don't know what you're.
Yes and no, it
Does
does.
it?
It has to do with compensation, which is a big piece.
Because
of it,
we've
right?
got, I mean, you know, we've got two schools of thought on this. They kind of really want to do a 9-month hire.
Right,
Or for that, if you hire somebody that's like a law enforcement person, you know, they're gonna want a year job, which would
right.
require, you know, working there 9 months and working
And then
here
working
3
for us
months.
sometime,
Yeah.
yes.
There's nothing major yet, it's just, and then with some of our other issues, it's kind of, I'll be honest with you, kind of got put on the back burner because of
Right. Other
them
stuff.
deals, yeah.
Yeah, I
Which,
I think retired guys would like the 9-month deal.
Yeah.
I would think a retired guy would like
Well-
the 9-month deal.
if you can find a retired guy that wants to come and do that, yeah.
What would be the response time if they did have a problem there at Silo?
Depending on where the-
I
You mean now?
Yeah, what would be the response time now?
Well, if you're leaving the county, you're
Half
talking
hour?
15, 20 minutes, but
Yeah.
you know, like I've got, like Kevin, who's my midnight deputy, you know, there's a lot of mornings he'll sit out there for, or if not, he's right there, he's in that neighborhood at, you know, at 8 o'clock, so, you know, something happened at 8:30 in the morning, it might be 2 minutes. You know, just depends where, whoever's out there's at. It could be 2 minutes, it could be 30 minutes. But that'd be the same deal with Chrisman or Kansas, or,
Chrisman has, don't they have a police there?
well, not all the time.
They don't have a full, is he full-time?
I thought they did.
Well, they've got a new part-time guy that's kind of been working full-time hours. But, you know, there's some days but it all depends, like I say, if somebody's on duty that day or,
Well, yeah, I mean, Jordan works during the day, so. the
yeah,
chief
he
is
works
not
in
on.
prison, so he's,
Is he the chief? Who?
yeah, Jordan Hale,
Okay,
he works. But I think his days off are like Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday, or something like that.
mhm,
But he works a different shift than what the guy that they just hired that's working, you know, he works more of a 8 to 4 style shift. So right now, yeah, they've, and in certain days, you know, but on any given day,
Have you had board members call you wanting to know why it's taking so long from Silo?
you know, I haven't talked to anybody. I mean, Alan called this morning, just as I was coming here, and I told him I'd call him back.
so it's a matter of you deciding whether you're gonna use a part-time person or maybe a full-time person position?
And like I told them before, you know, we're not like a lot of departments, we don't have a pool of 70 or 80 people to drag somebody out.
Right,
I mean, if somebody from our department wants to do it, well, then we've gotta find somebody to
replace
replace them and just to find something, you know, I'm like Alan, I'd really like to find a retired individual that was wanting to work 9 months.
So I guess, are you just gonna continue to just try to see if you find someone, or are you gonna advertise? Cause you gotta, I guess, in a way, you gotta make up your mind.
Right.
Whether you're gonna go the part-time
Well, I
or
mean, I would like
full-time.
to go well, there's sides to both of them, I reckon.
Right.
Right now, I'd like to get the part-time in there, cause I'm just not sure. You know, I think there's gonna be just a hard keeping somebody in there, I mean,
Is Devin still available?
well,
He
you know,
works the hospital, so I don't know.
he's out there right now, but well, see, I kinda had him on
That's
the
what I
list.
thought.
Well, then all of a sudden, he's getting hired
We gave him
in
one.
Coles County for that, one of them positions. Well, then the next thing I know, state police is calling again, they're looking to hire him back.
Hmm.
In the Department of Conservation, right
Yeah,
now,
heard
I
that
guess
too.
he's on the conservation
I heard that too.
list. So.
I mean, how do you structure, it's like a cart and horse issue, right? So how do you structure the agreement ahead of time if you don't know what you're
Well,
going
that's-
with, right?
Kind
So
of one of the,
It's almost like doing a straw poll, hey, who's interested and what do you wanna do, and then building around that, right?
Right. I mean, that's, And like I say, I had even one of those, couple of city guys that are at retirement age, and
I mean, it seems like that would be the more likely answer is the retiree wants to take a 9-month job that, you know, those are like kind of good, like half retired hours anyway. You know, you're not working an 8 to 5, you know, you're not working all year round. So maybe we start there, and if we have issues, then we can refine, but I think that's probably the biggest net we can put in the water at this point.
I mean, I reckon right now we're just gonna have to, you know, just kind of a gentleman's agreement between us. You know, here's the contract, we've got it in place. Subject to, you know, we may have to tweak it here, we may have to tweak it there.
Because we basically worked out from the finance perspective what is gonna be on the sheriff's department, what's
Right.
gonna be on the school district, right?
Right.
So that helps. So I mean, that's kind of where, that makes the most sense to me, is to start from there. Because I don't imagine, I mean, it'd be nice to have somebody there for an extra 3 months of the year, but it's almost more trouble than it's worth. You'd
I mean,
rather
I'm
have a
kinda
full-time
looking-
for you.
You know, going ahead, I'm kinda looking at that 9-month, hire a person for 9 months, knowing that we might have to do something to make a whole year, you know, make it a position that, where they work there 9 months, work for us 3 months, or,
And we can do that after the fact even, I mean, I feel like,
right.
you know.
You only
if-
got 4 more months of the school year
Right.
now, don't you? February, March,
Yeah, fine.
you know, about 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you hire, you know, you're only gonna be on contract with the school during the school hours. So if you're looking at a full-time position and us using them elsewhere, I mean, that's on us, not the school agreement. You know, if the right person would happen to show up that wanted
This
full-time.
guy gonna work athletic events, things like that?
Well, that's something that's kinda gonna be left up to the school. I mean, their way of thinking is that, you know, if you have to come back tonight for 2 hours for a basketball game, either, you know, go home 2 hours early today, or, you know, come in 2 hours early tomorrow. I mean, that's kinda the way they wanna do it, rather than pay overtime. And that was one of the questions that come in when we talked about one of the other schools going in with them. Then you're gonna have them fighting over, well, we want them for the volleyball game, well, we want them for the basketball game, and,
Right.
well,
Basically.
you had them last week, well, we want them this week, so.
And
then-
I don't think that-
I mean, nobody else is interested in doing it anyhow, so.
Athletic ventures, administrators are supposed to be there and take care of that. I wouldn't,
Well, and they can work, I mean, they can figure that piece out. I'm not too worried
You think?
about that.
I don't think they
So-
drop for that.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess it goes back to just asking, you know, finding out who's interested and if they're on board with the,
That chief's position, some couple of guys that were, I thought was getting ready to get out anyhow, they're kinda like, well, maybe we'll sit back and, I don't know what's gonna happen over there. It's been pretty hush-hush, so.
well, and we're still, I mean, we are, school year wise, one thing, but fiscal year wise, we're still closer to the beginning than the end
Yeah,
for
right.
us, so. But by May, you know, and they probably have somebody picked by them, but say April, if that's our pool to draw from, we may have to wait till April for somebody to commit, you know, so. But I think the best thing we can do right now is just set expectations of what the job's gonna be, that it's a 9-month position for now, subject to change based on need or desire, but that's the starting
Right.
position.
That makes sense.
Where we're at.
And given Shiloh's location, there could well be some retired guys in the pool that you don't know about, you know, coming from Danville or
Well, and
wherever.
Shiloh
Team
too,
Charles.
half of
You
Shiloh's
miss
probably
the Boca Raton of Edgar County.
Coles County too,
Where retirees go.
Douglas County. So. You know, in Edgar County, as far as that goes, the pool of retired law enforcement is pretty shallow anymore.
Well, you're gonna get back with, is it principal or superintendent? Out the Allen guy.
He's a superintendent.
Superintendent.
Interim, okay.
Well,
He's
just,
their only part-time.
I mean, I haven't talked to him, but just reading an article in the paper, you know, they want something, know what's going on, want something done, so just let him know where you're at and do the best you can.
That board member at hospital, he asks about every week, the status of what's going on, he's board member Shiloh.
Hmm.
Who's that?
Aaron Richardson,
Oh,
he works in the radiology.
X-ray, yeah.
Well, just let him know where you're at and what your thinking is and the best you can.
What about the, you're probably talking about arbitrator, that's coming up Wednesday, decision?
Yeah.
Are you gonna talk about it, or, I heard
I don't.
numbers.
I don't wanna talk about it.
Well, just while everybody's here too, while you got me, we have had an issue with the boiler at the courthouse. We had, probably 3 weeks ago, we developed a little leak. Harvey come in, checked it, well, there's a crack, and that boiler was put in, it's put in sections, all bolted together, so he was hoping it was a gasket. Well, he got in there, and there's a small crack or fracture in one of the sections. So we're probably looking at, he's hoping $2,000–2,500 to replace that section. Now, as of, one day last week, Wednesday or Thursday, I was in there, because I've been kind of maintaining that boiler even before that. The crack is, whether it sealed itself, with sediment or something, it hadn't been, and even then, it was a very minor leak. So then, last week, Augie called, we had zero heat in there. Luckily, I got a hold of, that was the day after New Year's, wasn't it?
Yep.
Harvey just happened to be coming up Central Street when I called him. He comes in there.
Good luck with that.
Of course, you gotta start from square one and try the reset. Well, that didn't work. Went to the electronics, everything was good. No spark in the radiator. So we get to the very last flame sensor or something up underneath there. Well, basically all it amounted to was you had to take something and clean that sensor off. It had some soot and stuff from the, but there's 3 or 4 different electronic parts they're all like 10 years old now. So I gave him the go ahead to order these parts. They're not, we're talking a couple $100 to have them on hand in case, well, just like that day, everything was, it was New Year's Eve. Because everybody was, the part we was gonna need was in Champaign. Of course, they were closing at noon, and we wasn't gonna be able to get up there and get it. I told him to order these 2 or 3 electronic parts, so we had them on hand. And he said, that's the thing, he said, this thing's 10, going on 11 years old now, so you can start expecting little stuff to, so that's kind of where we're at. But since we cleaned that off, everything's been fine, so. But with this, I know I talked to Andy about it, with this energy grant thing we're getting. We didn't want to put a whole lot of money into this and then turn around and then decide they want to do a more efficient method of heating, so.
No, but in the meantime, we kind of, I assume Augie'd appreciate we keep some heat in the courthouse for a few more months.
When it gets down below freezing, it gets cold in the courthouse
Yeah.
without heat.
50 degrees.
I spent the whole day with my coat on.
Mm. I spend all my day with coat on too,
What do you do?
and stocking cap.
Well, I'm not quite as old as you are.
You should,
Your blood type's in it.
I'll just got more hair than you got.
Well, talk to Don. I'm willing to pay my property tax bill with
Yeah.
firewood. I can dump it right outside your door for you if you want.
Maybe Snuggies for all the
See, Don had his
employees.
surgery.
I told him everybody go home at noon.
Yeah.
We had it, I don't know, about 11:30 we finally got it going.
They let Don had his arm surgery, but he's still limping around. Saw him the other day with his arm in the sling.
that's funny. That was good of the year. I
Yeah,
don't
well.
forget that one.
Anything else, Jeff?
That's it, I think.
Should put that in the paper.
Augie?
No, the only thing I would have is, do you have any questions on your agenda? I've given you the documents. It's the 2 highway things that Aaron talked about.
Accept the arbitrator's decision.
We need to decide if you're going
I know what it
to
is.
action on the arbitrator's decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this resolution on the elected officials?
Thank you. I was just getting ready to mention that. A couple of years ago, IMRF passed a new, well, the state did, and IMRF did their own too. Basically, explaining more detail who can and who can't participate in IMRF, and just to make sure that nothing falls through the cracks, so to speak. Every 2 years, we have to certify or the board has to adopt a resolution stating which elected officials are eligible for IMRF. Now, going back in the records, all the elected officials in 1951 became eligible. That's when the last resolution was. And I think they just want to get current information on the books. So, and board members aren't allowed to participate anyway, at least from our point, because there's, number one, you gotta work 1,000 hours. And number two, you gotta keep a detailed log of your time. So, but that's just gonna be housekeeping now every couple of years, is all that is. So, other than that, it's pretty light.
As far as the resolution on the arbitrator's decision, did everybody get a copy of that?
I did not.
You didn't?
I know what it is, I saw deburden, but
Well,
Explain it, Carl.
Carl, excuse me.
I know you're
Jeff
looking
asked
for
me to give you a copy and Andy a copy.
Yeah, he thought
At
you'd
this
email it
point.
to us on the computer.
I got a copy that I can read,
That's
just like
good,
this.
that's good.
I'll have one available.
I'm just giving him a hard time.
It's pretty confusing, actually. Have you read it?
What's that?
The arbitrator's decision?
I just kinda glanced over it, I haven't sat down and,
Wow, it is
I
confusing.
mean, I know the two basics, they got this and we got that.
I heard that part. but,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, Jeff called me the other day and said that this was on New Year's
New
Eve.
Year's Day.
New Year's Eve, and that's
Or
when he
late.
got notified that the arbitrator ruled that for the insurance, that our version of it,
Our offer.
was what he went with, and for the wages, their offer is what he went with. And it's like a 10-page
Oh, geez.
10-page thing. It's,
Is just that, 10 pages just for that?
yeah,
Jesus.
it's kind of confusing, but he gave several different reasons why he was sided with us on the insurance, our offer, and then on the wages, he had like there's 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 different things he considered, and all of them, except the very last one, he thought our offer was the best offer. But on the last one, he thought, he gave reasons why he sided with them, and because of that one thing, his final decision was that he went with their offer.
What was it, 4% increase or something, 0.5%?
Our last offer, our offer was, I don't have it.
Was it 275, something
Yeah,
like that?
I think that's right.
275 and
250, or,
250.
Yeah,
yeah, went down.
yeah.
250 and 250, and theirs was 3, 3, and 3. And he went with theirs.
Well, and we kinda got screwed on that deal because the crime rate's gone up. You know, cost of living, everything else by a
The
good
cost of
percent.
living, you know, he
Percent.
said because of that, you know, he's definitely sided with us. And he looked at the comps, you know, compared to, I think there's 5 or 6 surrounding counties that he used similar size. And he sided with us, but there was. I
But he
forget-
still went with him?
Yeah.
Social
That doesn't make
Security
any sense.
He had a cooling off period after he
total
walked
for
out of here.
Social Security is only
Because he
2.5%.
was not pleased
for
with
this year,
how
something
that
like that.
was all going down.
It must.
So I was expecting something a little different.
What did we pay, how much did we pay for lawyer fees to do all this?
I don't know.
20,000?
I don't
I
have
just
any
wondered what
idea.
it costs
Probably.
to get this done.
Yeah.
So we're probably
Jeff is,
lost in
Jeff
the
is having us keep track of it, but when we get the bill, we have to break out what is arbitration and what is other legal stuff.
Consulting and one thing and the other.
And it all comes in on one bill. Now, it's itemized out, but as we're paying the bill, we're
we're doing the best we can of separating that, but then when he looks at it, he says, no, this needs to go over here, and that needs to go back over
Yeah,
here.
Still you have a total bill, right?
I
You
don't
still
know.
have a total bill for everything.
I don't, no, it's an ongoing,
Okay,
we're being
nice.
billed,
Okay.
invoiced as we go along.
Nice.
And quite honestly, I don't, the ballpark number, I would be afraid to say. I mean, it's obviously north of 10, but I don't know where it is around 20,
Yeah.
if that makes any
If you
sense.
get a chance before Wednesday, could you
Sure,
see if you can come up with
absolutely,
you know, a ballpark figure?
absolutely.
No, we don't know how many more bills are gonna come in.
It'd be nice putting the paper, what it costs for lawyer fees to get all this crap done.
Kind of bill
Should've
it
gone
monthly, or
Right.
their firm do.
Yeah, and I don't think, well, I'm confident that we don't have the invoice yet for the discussion back and forth of the final decision with the arbitrator.
Mhm.
You know,
I don't remember anything coming in.
every time you take a breath, it costs money.
Well, and I assume that we don't have much of a choice other than to accept the arbitrator's award. I mean, we kind of went into it
Right.
saying that we would.
Yeah, I mean,
I will vote against it, because it's not right. I
But
thought
what are
we
you
were
gonna
very
do
fair.
if we all vote against it, what are you gonna do then? Go back to arbitration? Yeah, you don't have much choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
No,
we
but,
don't have
you know, it's
I
just,
don't agree with it either.
I mean,
But
if you read through that, I mean,
Yeah.
it's all the reasons, except that one reason.
Well,
He sided with us on
Still, by Social
everything.
Security, COLA would be pretty accurate with Social Security, and it's 2.5% for this year, something
Yeah.
like that, so,
That's what went up.
yeah.
Mhm.
Those of us that get it.
The ones that draw Social Security, so.
The point, let's just say we have a meeting, we all vote no. But we
Yeah,
don't
we'll
want
say
to,
what
we
we're
don't want to
gonna
go back to arbitration.
I think
It's a
we,
We won't
final
go back to
bill.
arbitration. 'cause
Yeah, I
we're-
think-
I know that, I'm saying,
What are
we
you gonna do?
agreed, you know,
Yeah,
to accept it no matter what it was.
well, and I
Sorry
think
for
we agreed to
But we did
accept,
just
That
show,
binding thing.
we did agree to
we didn't like it.
yeah, we also agreed to accept the finding of
Right,
arbitration
right,
before we
So I
went
think
into
we're pretty well locked
arbitration,
in there,
so.
right? So
I mean,
that's-
why we even have a resolution to accept something we already agreed to accept?
Right, paperwork.
Just a
Semantics.
formality.
So Carl can vote no.
yeah.
Well, I guess me being chairman, I don't get a vote.
Oh,
You don't get a vote?
He's the chairman, he won't get
I
it.
mean,
You'll be
acting
vice
chairman.
Oh, I see.
Jeff won't, he won't be here.
That's right, yeah.
Will Jeff and Andy be here Wednesday?
No, he's.
Andy will be,
Where's
Jeff
Andy?
will
Jeff
not be.
won't.
Okay, cause I'm going to be a little dicey on Wednesday. I've gotta take
You're
the
not gonna
son
take a
up
shower
to
or
here.
anything? Oh,
I think I can make it,
What's
but
new?
your farmer, you're always
Good
a
dicey,
little
what's
dicey.
new? You're always dicey.
Okay.
You got
Anybody else have
Ever since high
anything?
school.
I don't think so.
No.
Motion to adjourn,
so moved.
second.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
I,
Opposed? No.
I gotta get
When
over
did you
Andrew.
graduate from high school?
82,
Harris?
yes.